nicely into the next item because it's you like what I did there, Declan.
Very appropriate, very appropriate, John. Yeah.
Life Through a Lens is an exhibition that's opening tomorrow evening at the County Museum in Letterkenny, and it features a selection of photographs by Declan Doherty, one of the county's most experienced and well-known photographers, because he was with the Donegal News, or the Derry People as it was known then, for over 40 years, and that was up until last year. But a regular contributor as well to national newspapers. His photographs are featured on the front of Irish Times and the Irish Independent, and he regularly puts in photographs to the annual Press Photographers Association competition, and many of the photographs that are in this exhibition are ones that he submitted over the years. So I'm delighted that Declan is with us anyhow.
Thanks, John.
You're keeping well. You're looking well.
Keeping very well, thank God. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Still taking photographs, because I see them up there on social media. So you're still
taking an odd one. Yeah, a wee bit more time now to do to spend places, and I can go different places.
Have you retired now? Are you?
I have retired from the newspaper on a full-time basis. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's just freelance work.
Yeah, so I'm just doing bits and pieces of freelance work here and there, and if they need a help out at the weekend or something like that, I'm happy to go to a football match or
but not
whatever.
Not quite as many deadlines as you used to have.
Not as many deadlines, no, which is good, because it's been a long enough time, I think.
Yeah, over 40. I couldn't believe it when I saw it there, over 40 years.
Yeah, 44 years really. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I started in 1979, and I finished up on a full-time basis there back in October 23. So
not many corners of the county that you
very few
that you haven't been in with your camera.
Yeah, mind you, I've found a few since.
All right. Some lesser known ones
that I didn't
where there
get
wouldn't have been much happening.
No, but I do know a lot of the roads in the county, and I do know there's very few villages or towns that I haven't been into at some stage. Yeah,
but you're probably looking at them through a different eye now. When you're
completely.
Working as a press photographer, it's there's a. Excuse the pun, there's a focus. In other words, it's following a story and pictures to go with it. Yes. Now it's probably a lot of landscapes and
it's that type of thing, which probably wouldn't have had maybe much time to do when you were going from the office maybe out to cover a job, and you were going with the intention of just getting pictures for a story. And then you're talking about the deadline, so you had to get back to the office, so you didn't have much time to stay. Let's say it was Gweedore or some other beautiful place in the county. So you didn't have much time to hang around, so you were just literally going from A to B and back to A again. And then you had to go in then. When I started, we didn't have, phones, cameras or that sort of thing. So
a bit more labour intensive.
A wee bit more.
You had to go back.
So we had to go back into the darkroom basically and develop the films, So, but that was enjoyable too. I really liked that part of the job. But it was at the start, it was a very, very, very nervous experience waiting on a film to come out of a tank. See if
nervous, but exciting.
Exciting at the same time, yeah.
Just didn't know what was going to come on. It's not like you look at the camera and check what you just snapped. You had to wait until you went in and did the developing.
Yeah, and it wasn't a completely exact process either, because every film was different. If you went to a football match and it was a really dull day, you might have had to process that film for slightly longer or maybe less time than some other type of marking that you might be going to. So, it was a nervous 10 minutes or so to see the film.
Like say something like a football match as well, you had a reel or a couple of reels of film. Yeah. So you had to be careful about what you shot. Now you can shoot anything that moves.
Oh, you can.
And delete.
Yeah, you can shoot away and delete. I mean, I think one of the memory cards in my camera will shoot something like 6,000-7,000 images. So you keep on adding on. But the problem is you have to go back there at some stage and take them off and archive them in some way,
But back in the day, you had you were mindful of the number.
Oh yeah, you had 36 images on a film. So now you could shoot 36 images in about half a second. On a modern digital camera. So big events like, say, the All-Ireland final way back in 92, we would have used maybe 10 or 20 rolls of film.
So it'd been like your Heading into a battle zone with all the rolls of film you would have had around you.
You had a lot of stuff. Right? The bag was full of film, yeah. And you were absolutely, you were always concerned that you weren't going to have enough film. Yeah, because you didn't want to miss a shot, so and the cameras were quite fast in the sense that they had a little bit of a motor drive, so it kept shooting and shooting. And once you kept your finger on the button, so you were always a bit nervous that if something big happened in the game or something towards the end of the game and you didn't have enough film in the bag or whatever.
Yeah, so you had to be mindful of the number of shots that you were taking and also the number of rolls that you were getting through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just had to keep a very close eye on those things. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Speaking of the All Ireland final, I see that one of the photos in the exhibition is of a trip to Tory with Sam, because I was trying to work out where it was. And it's a great setting because for a start it's a big crowd, and it rises up at the back, so it must have taken a bit of gathering. But then again, when Sam's in town, it's going to draw a crowd. And I could see Martin McHugh over on the left hand side of the photograph, and I couldn't really recognise many more. But Sam is there in the middle. Great photo.
That was.
Do you remember that day?
Oh, I really have very vivid memories of that day. We went out on the ferry from Burton Port to Tory Island that morning. I think Noel McCole, the late Noel McCole, was the county chairman at the time. And I certainly remember Martin McHugh was there because we took loads of photographs of him driving the ferry, or pretending to drive the ferry, or sail the ferry, whatever.
If he was driving it, you might still be out there.
Yeah. And Anthony Harkin was there. I think he was the team.
Actually, I recognised Anthony as well.
I think he was the team trainer at the time.
He's in the middle.
I've only got a very small version of it here, so I can't see exactly, but I think
there,
that...
there it is there, slightly
lovely.
version there.
Yeah, I think that maybe maybe Patsy Dan, but it looked to me when I was taking the photograph there that day that it looked like the entire population of Tory had turned out.
Well, it may not have been far off it.
Yeah, so there was great fantastic celebrations on the pier, and all the musicians were out and they were playing their accordions and byrons and all sorts as we marched up towards the West Town.
You must have some great memories of the 92 win, because there was nothing like it, the celebrations when Sam came back to the county.
Yeah.
And for a full week, it was full on for a full week afterwards, and indeed...
Absolutely, I was just thinking about that on the way in the car. It was probably one of the biggest events that I covered in the early days, but it went on for months and months and months.
But in particular, that first week, there was something big every single night, and days were with visits as well. Yeah, and then after that, then
there was a huge build up to it beforehand, and.
It's hard to explain now just exactly how big it was and what it meant.
It was an absolutely massive event at the time, particularly being the first senior All Ireland. It was absolutely huge. But I think we went to, in the aftermath, I think the Tory Island visit came later that year, but I think before that we must have gone to every single national school in the county.
I'd say it felt like
with the cup. And every single class had to be photographed with the cup as well. So it was great. It was great times.
Some buzz.
It was great times. And the homecoming and everything, sure, it was, you couldn't beat it.
And you would have been involved right through from the game in Croke Park to the homecoming to the nights of celebration and coming to various towns, where players lived and stuff afterwards.
It was great,
And then all the schools.
Yeah.
There's another photo in the exhibition of... not Tory, but Aaron Moore, and one that... Another Island, but did it win an award for you, or was nominated?
Yeah, that was a photograph that I took on Aaron Moore Island back in 2007, and it won the feature award in the Press Photographers Association of Ireland Awards that year. So
great title.
Carmageddon, yeah.
Because it's a picture of it like a car graveyard.
It's pretty much a car graveyard, yeah.
And you titled it.
Sometimes I did, yeah.
You come up with that Carmageddon.
Yeah. So it was just a huge expanse of old cars that were no longer in use, and for want of a better place to put them, I suppose they all just put them into this one area at the back of the island, and.
And then do I remember right that it got a lot of publicity at the time, and it had to be cleaned up.
Well, it probably spurred on the actually it did spur on the county council to put in place a clean-up operation, and I think maybe it was a contractor, possibly from Mayo, who was appointed to come and take all the cars away, basically. So the ferry, and the year after that, the ferry was over and back and over and back and over and back. They're taking loads away, which was great, really, you know, because it really tidied up the whole place.
Yeah, it was an eyesore.
But it was that won that prize there, and
some of the photographs as well feature well-known people, and I see here there's a portrait of Jerry Robinson.
Yeah,
great picture, looking very relaxed.
Jerry, yeah.
I'd say a joy to photograph because he was very relaxed.
Absolutely, yeah. Jerry was a lovely man, and because he was so much of a national and possibly international business figure, I would have got many calls from different newspapers to go and photograph him for interviews that they had done with him.
Okay.
So, in the end up, he gave me his number, and he said, "Listen, anytime at all, just call me and come over." But there was absolutely no problem at all. He never said no, never, and he would have posed for you all day.
Very accommodating.
You know, very nice man.
I found that too over the years with things to do with radio.
And a fantastic businessman, did an awful lot for the county as well.
So. Someone else who's done and is doing a lot for the county is Daniel O'Donnell. Slightly different, slightly different pose here. I'll just hold it up to the camera as well. Daniel,
this is the most
bare-chested. Is that a festival or something?
No, this is possibly not that there's many controversial pictures in it, but this is a very controversial image of Daniel.
Yeah.
It's I suppose you could say it's a topless image of Daniel.
Yes. Daniel and controversial, not two words you put together too often.
That's true.
So he was taking part in some sort of a knockout, was it?
He was taking part in a fashion show.
Ah, okay.
And I think it was the Mount Erigon Hotel, and I think he might have been modelling some beachwear at the time. So
very short. That explains it all.
Yeah.
And then you have Noel Cunningham, and he's doing a bit of he's always doing a bit of modelling because he's always so dapper. This time in a pink suit.
Yeah.
And where's that taken?
I absolutely love Noel. Noel is a huge personality and a huge character, and does an awful lot.
Great ambassador.
Ambassador for the county, and does a huge amount of charity work with the recently with the Donegal Camino as well, and the walk that they do for cancer services in the northwest around the county. But he's really open to getting his photograph taken, and he's standing. He's actually standing there in Dunlow during the festival.
Oh,
I think he maybe opened the festival that year.
That might be out to the front of the waterfront.
At the front of the hotel, with the bay in the background, and he's got a pink suit on him, and he's got a lovely tanned face and a big smile, and a hand, his hanky, and his jacket, and everything's right.
Signature Noel.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then there's a picture of a pensive looking Jim McCormick, the late Jim McCormick of McGee's Chemist in Letterkenny, looking out. Is that the window? One of the windows?
That is
one. The shop?
Yeah, that is one of the windows above the pharmacy on the main street. And what Jim is doing there is watching the 1993 Folk Festival parade.
Oh, okay.
And he doesn't look too impressed.
No, he doesn't.
I'm sure he won't.
I thought he was maybe looking out for a bit of litter or something, or people who might be littering. Just, but no, it was
another person who's done fantastic things for Letterkenny. Yeah, and we're so lost not to have him.
We are,
But
lost far too early.
Too early.
But left a great legacy.
Absolutely,
when he started,
Well, I suppose the culmination of that was probably in 2015 when Letterkenny won the overall award in the Tidy Town Awards. So that was all started by that hard-working committee, and Jim was a very big driving force behind it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, all those photos, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
It is. Yeah, there's probably it's an Errigal Arts Festival program event, and it's been hosted by the Donegal County Museum, and really, if I could maybe take an opportunity just to thank Caroline and Judith and Jacqueline, who run the place there. They're doing all the hard work behind it. I just provided the images. So fair play to them.
They do a lot of great work down there.
Fantastic work,
in the museum that we don't fully appreciate, and it doesn't maybe reach as big an audience as it deserves.
Yeah. And they have it'd be great if people would go in and see this, but when they are there, they should take the opportunity of going upstairs as well to see the permanent exhibition that's there. So there's some fantastic things there as well. So
and a nice big car park right beside it.
Absolutely,
the Ty Culbert car park.
Yeah.
So anyhow, it's being open tomorrow evening, 7:00.
There's a preview tomorrow evening at 7, which you're invited to, and anybody that feels free, feel free to come along and have a look. So from 7:00 on, and then generally speaking, it's open to the public then from Friday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, be great.
And loads of great photographs of Donegal and some of the best known people from the county and who lived in the county and just some stuff from down through the years, and places and people that most of us recognise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll definitely see someone in it. And actually, just last night I posted a picture of the late, excuse me, R.P. Meehan. You would know him possibly from being the popular owner of Bars Newsagent on the main street.
Yes.
So that's getting an absolutely fantastic. That's in the exhibition, and that's getting a fantastic reaction online. He was a lovely man. Arrived here from India in I think the 50s. Established 2, maybe 3 different businesses, and made a very good life for himself and his family.
I know his sons, rather than knowing him.
Yeah.
And his picture, you say, is getting a brilliant.
Oh yeah, it just shows you how popular he was and how much he was loved around the town, because he provided a great service to people.
And the exhibition then will be fully open then from Friday onwards, and the best luck with it. But some of the photographs that you put up still are brilliant, and this is ones that you're taking now on a day-to-day basis. And
I suppose it's a wee bit more relaxed about it, and you have a wee bit more time to spend. The sun's shining.
But I keep even when the sun's not shining. But I keep thinking, how did he spot that? That's because I could pass the scene 10 times and not see what you've seen.
I'm sure you would.
You'll go by and click it, and it'll be there. There was a great. Oh yeah, there's one. Well, there's kind of a collection of photographs of signs damaged by.
Gunshot pellets, yeah. I was actually hoping you might mention that, John, because it's sort of like a montage of road signs that have been shot by, as you say, by pellets or whatever, as target practice. Is kind of a very curious practice. I don't know how it started or what, but anyway. So there's 9 of those joined together, and that's been printed out by Brown Printers in Letterkenny. And it's like really large scale. So it's about maybe, 8 or 10 feet wide by
huge,
10 feet tall or something. It's on one full wall, yeah. Right. So I started taking photographs of these, I don't know how many years ago, but often at the time when I was taking the pictures, I often wondered, was the rifle trained on the sign?
You look over your shoulder. At the time. look over your shoulder before you took the photograph.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, listen.
Thanks a million.
Not at all, Declan, and the best luck with the exhibition. Thanks.
Thanks very much, John. Thank you.